All right, guys, welcome to another podcast with the Dark Gnome. My name is George Odell. We're here at Train Yard 317. Going to talk a little bit about gym dynamics today, personal training, group training, some of how gyms operate, the challenges, the problems that gyms face in so many different personalities and characters in your gym. First and foremost, let's give a shout out to the sponsors. We've got FitAid, Higher Protein Bars, 4-2 Wellness, Hand Armor Chalk, and Sky Zone. Really excited to have them on board. You guys need to check them all out. Sky Zone's a great place for the kids to obviously go and jump around, and Hand Armor Chalk's the Chalk Champions. Brah! So, I think we'll start first with gym dynamics. Not just ninja gyms, but gyms in general. There's so many different personalities and characters and just different things in gyms that have people uncomfortable, or there's certain things that they like a lot about a gym, and that's why they're comfortable. And so what we're going to talk about is kind of what people have talked to me about, things that have been said, what I've noticed. First and foremost, I think the biggest and most important thing in a gym is going to be the respect that you're giving to the people that are around you, whether it's re-racking weights, or if you move an obstacle in a gym, putting that obstacle back. If you're using chalk in a gym, not throwing that chalk everywhere, all over the place all the time, Jonathan Cooley. But anyways, I think that if you would just think about the things that you like to see in the gym and that you like to have done for you in the gym, that's going to be an awesome way to operate. One thing for us that we found that a lot of people like is we're very willing to move things around. We're very willing to make it a personal experience, and I think that's what separates Train Yard 317 from a lot of gyms, is that when you come in, it's not just it is what it is. It's not just, well, this is what we have set up, do the best you can. If you can't do 3/4 of the stuff in the gym, then you just need to become a better ninja. For us, I want people to come in here and I want them to have an experience. I want it to be personal for them. I want them to feel like they got attention. I want them to feel like they were given things and opportunities to do things that are not where they would find or what they would find in other gyms. So if that means I got to lower some holds for a younger person, if that means I need to shorten the distances for a less athletic or less dynamic person, then that's what I try to do. The idea is that we build these people, that they come into these gyms and that they find something or do something that they never thought they could, and so with that they want to come back and they want to be here. I think that the egos in the gym, that's something that you've got to really watch out for. It's one of the things that really can separate and divide a gym, honestly. If you can't maintain that sense of personal humanity, where you just realize that not everybody's going to be on your level, or that some people might even be above your level, those are the things that you've got to think about and that you have to understand so that you can make a gym operate properly. And you have to recognize that in your clients. A small bit of cancer can spread throughout a gym in such a fast, uncontrolled rate, to where you start to notice certain times when people are there, you notice nobody else is coming in because it's their regular time. And that says something. You really have to watch out for people and how they operate on a personal level in the gym, so that you can make sure that your other clients are comfortable and having a good time. But I think a lot of that has to do with your gym management and your staff. You really have to concentrate on watching for these signs and watching for these things that people are doing that are isolating other clients or that are making other clients feel uncomfortable. So from that regard, it's a tough job to run a gym. I think a lot of people just assume that you come into a gym, you play all day or you work out all day, and that there's really not a bunch to running it. But the truth is it's kind of a stressful scenario, because number one, you want to give everybody an opportunity to get better and to enjoy their fitness journey. And that's first and foremost, is trying to really make sure that it becomes this personal experience for everyone. So when you do have a particular person or a group or somebody that's in that gym that's causing a problem, you don't want to just be like, you gotta go. You know what I mean? You don't want to just say, well, you don't fit in well here, so you have to go. I think at the end of the day, the idea is to try to figure out a way to be kind about it, but just say, people are not digging this that you do or that you do, and these things about your personality have caused conflict on this team or whatever, and it becomes a very personal situation that people get really upset about. It's got to be one of the hardest parts about running a gym, is trying to keep as many people happy as possible, because at the end of the day, you're not going to make everybody happy. It's just like anything else. So, one thing that I think that a lot of people need to concentrate on and evaluate is the fact that we all have very different personalities. We all are so different in the way that we act or the way that we take things. You read a text one way, I read a text another way. You have two totally different opinions, two totally different feelings, and who's to say either one of them's right? It could be meant in a whole different way, and that's how people talk a lot of the times. Some people, they don't have that filter, and there's so many different filters that are missing in people's lives. Like, you just assume that what you say is taken in the way that you mean it, but when you have no filter, when you don't explain yourself thoroughly, or you just come off always with this negative intention, it's really hard to fit in, and it's really hard for the gym to operate with you in it in a way that appeals to the mass. Because at the end of the day, a gym has to at least pay its bills to operate. So I guess what I'm getting at is when you have misunderstandings in your life, when you have these things that you feel like people are misunderstanding you, remember that when you start to have issues with people inside of your gym, when you start to feel like somebody's maybe picking at you or causing a problem, try to always start on the other side of it. Try to always say, okay, maybe this is not how it's meant. And if all else fails, one super important thing that we've gotten away from is that nobody like comes at each other anymore with like conversation. Nobody's ever like, hey, you did this, I don't really like that, I'm wondering why you did that, what did you mean by that, and how can we move past it? Instead, it's just like this, I'm just not going to train with you, or I'm just not going to be around you. And that's not good for anybody, because just because you can't get along with someone real well on a super personal level doesn't mean that person's not an amazing training partner for you or not good to have in the gym. Now, some people, it just doesn't work. Some people they're just so arrogant and they're just so out of touch with the reality that this gym is for everyone and not just for you, that there's nothing that you can really do. And those people slowly weed themselves out, especially as things grow. You'll find that as a gym grows, as the amount of people that come in, you're going to find that there are character issues or personality issues that you didn't know existed because you never had to deal with it because you didn't have so many people in the gym. If there's 8 people in the gym and they're all in the gym at a different time, you're never going to see the big problems usually because they stay away from each other and it's not crowded. But once you start to build and you have this organization that's growing and there's more people and more workers and more events and more competition, that's when you really see kind of what's out there and what a person really stands for. As far as Ninja goes, one big thing about Ninja that I feel like needs to be kept in mind as it grows and as this what's soon to be a sport evolves, you've got to remember why you got into it. Most of us, if I'm not mistaken, got into Ninja because it was fun. It's basically like a large indoor playground that we all come into and just monkey around and try things that we haven't tried since we were kids, or trying things that we just don't even know if we can do. And it's just this amazing experience to try to get better and just have fun, have a good time and stay fit. And as it started to grow and as it's become more competitive, you can kind of see the differences in people. You can feel them when there's conflict or there's problems or there's a call at a competition that you don't really agree with. You can really tell what a person's here for. Are they here for the sport and the fun of it and just to have a good time? Are they here for the accolades because they want to be one of the best in the world, period? That's the only thing on their agenda. Are they here for the money? I think that's where Ninja is starting to, it's at a crossroad. Because all these people, they all say, I'm a pro ninja, right? I'm a pro ninja, I compete in the pro. But no, there are no pro ninjas. That's the craziest part of it all. There's no professional ninja sport, guys. None of you are pros. None of you get paid to compete. Now, some of you with big names get paid to go somewhere because you have a draw about yourself, because people come to watch you and follow you. You're just a ninja celebrity. You're not a ninja pro because nobody's paying you to compete. There's not a league that's paying you that says, hey, if you come compete this many times this year in all these events, you get this much money. That's how a profession works. A profession is paid for your service. It's not paid for, well, you're cool, Tom, so I'm going to pay you to come and hang out because everybody else will come and hang out and then I make money. That's not profession. That's just getting paid because you're cool. Which, kudos, you're a cool ninja, but you're not a pro ninja. So that's the thing to keep in mind. All this like hoity-toity, arrogant stuff that everybody does and says and acts, like, you're not pros. None of us are. None of us are being paid simply to compete. And the evolution of this sport is going to come when we look like good investments. When Ninja looks like a good investment, because the thing is that no sport became a sport unless it looked like a good investment. Nobody put the money up for a sport, to start a sport, to become a sport, unless they knew it would bring money back. And if you look like an ass in everything that you say and you do, and you call yourself a professional when you're not even anything more than a sponsored athlete, people don't buy into that. They're going to see through that, and they're going to say, okay, well, if this guy is acting like this, or this girl is acting like this at this level, what are they going to say or do once they really are on a professional level? Are they a good role model? Are they a good investment? Because at the end of the day, if we want this to grow, just like you want a gym to grow, it has to be a good investment. Nobody comes and pays you membership at a gym if they don't feel like they're getting anything out of it. Except for some people, which, by the way, a bunch of you people that pay memberships here don't come in. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm totally cool with it, because either way, we're collecting money. But I really feel like you should come and enjoy your fitness journey here and not just pay the monthly fee to say that you belong to a Ninja gym. Because at the end of the day, you paid for a membership at a Ninja gym, but I don't know that you actually belong to that Ninja gym because you don't come in. So just side note and kind of a thing to think about if you're paying a membership here and not coming in. It's a pretty cool place. You shouldn't just pay, you should come. Anyways, back to off the tangent. I just feel like one really important thing to remember is this is not a sport yet. This is simply a hobby that there's some prize money for here and there. One big thing about skateboarding and BMX that people don't understand is that to take off, it was an investment from the athletes that started that. Tony Hawk, and he went out and he was this amazing skateboarder. He went out and he talked to people about how it could evolve and why it could evolve. And he did it with this humble attitude because he was so amazing, but he was so humble. He taught all these people how to skateboard, but he taught it from like the student's perspective. And that people love that. People don't want you to try to sell them something from I am the greatest on the planet. They want you to sell them on a level playing field where it's a mutual benefit. So like when you're teaching someone, a great way to teach is going to be for you to teach it from the student's perspective. Say, hey, I was taught how to do this by watching or by this person. Not, I did this. I taught myself this 100%. Like I did it all. Even if you watched YouTube videos, I built a lot of my groundwork, my handstand and planche game, off of YouTube videos and watching people do it because I couldn't get a gymnast to teach me from anything other than a gymnast perspective. So I watched the videos, and that's who taught me. Those videos and the people on those videos and their failures and their successes, that's how it taught me to evolve into that. So I teach from that perspective. I say, hey, I watched this video and started here, and then I worked that until I was strong, and then I watched another video, or I watched, whoever, Ryan Atkins, whoever it might have been, do this, and that's what I used to kind of master that move through what they showed me on their video. People like to be taught from equal ground. Like, you might go to a person to train you because they're superior in their fitness journey, but you don't want them to be superior acting as a human. Like, nobody wants that. Nobody wants somebody sitting over them being like, listen, turd, I'm going to teach you how to go down the toilet. Like, nobody likes that. Everybody wants somebody to teach from the perspective of, hey man, you can do this. This is a point where you are, and it's a point where I was too, and this is what I did from what I watched and saw and was taught from these people to get past that, and that's what we're going to do with you. So that you share that journey as a student, and it's not just teacher-student. I think people like that. I mean, I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, comment, tell me I'm wrong. You want somebody to stand there and just tell you, hey man, I was born in a planche. I came out of my mom's womb and hit a planche. Like, if that's what you want, awesome. But I don't think it is. I think the best way to teach someone is from a student's perspective. So think about those things, because it applies in everything, whether it's a ninja thinking they're a pro and acting like they're a pro in an arrogant way when really they're not, or if it's an instructor who's teaching from this pedestal. Like, don't teach from the pedestal. Now, I'm not saying you can't say, hey, it took me a long time to get this and I'm super proud of it, but I think you have to really think about how you approach these people and how you come off to these people that you're working with. Because no matter what it is, the gym setting, the fitness setting, the instructional setting, even with your kids, man, they like to know that you learned something, that it wasn't just I'm an adult, so I had it. So it kind of brings me to my next thing too. To teach, you should do. I believe that. Like, I'm a firm believer in that. Like, I'm not saying you can't give great advice and be a poor example. But from a fitness perspective, I think that, at the very least, you should be able to mimic the movements you're teaching. I had a 400-pound gym teacher who sat in a chair and yelled at everybody all the time. The only teacher I've ever hated. Like, I could not stand her because I was like, how are you going to yell at people? She always used to yell at these young girls all the time about stuff, and she would get them upset and they would cry. And I actually got kicked out of the class because I'm like, all you do is sit in your chair. Like, how did you ever become a gym teacher? That makes no sense to me. Like, you might have, tell me about it. Do you have a thyroid problem? Like, what's the issue? Like, at least tell us why you sit in a chair at 400 pounds yelling at us. Give us a reason. Give us some type of idea why we should even listen to you. Did you go through something that caused you like this? Like, are you diabetic? Did you overeat? Did you become obese through a horrible diet and no exercise when really back in school you were fit? Because if so, use that. Teach from that. Teach from your struggle. Teach from your failure, because then hopefully somebody else doesn't, especially as a teacher. Seriously, you're a teacher. You shouldn't be 400 pounds sitting in a chair and not letting the kids understand how you got there, because all it looks like to us is that you're a super angry fat person, which I know I'm probably not even allowed to say technically, but that's what she was. She was a super angry fat person who didn't ever share anything with us, so we always just assumed that's what she was. So when you teach in fitness, one thing that I know a lot of people say is that I like that when I work out, you work out with me. Now, I don't do it all the time because I have a lot of other things and other people to work out. So if I have 5 clients in a day, I don't do every single workout with them. But I do try to mix it up to where I make sure at least a couple times a week I'm working out with every client, because I want them 2 things. One, I want them to know I can do it. I want them to know that, and I will do it. I'm not just going to have you hit a stop, drop, and roll over and over and over again, because I think it's hilarious that I took something you were taught as a kid and made it a workout. I want you to know there's a reason behind it and that I do it too. Then the other part is just sharing in the journey. Some people like dying with another person, you know what I mean? If you're sitting there getting broke down and the guy that's teaching you or the girl that's teaching you, you never see broke down, sometimes you wonder, is that a genetic gift that he or she has? Does she really work out that hard, or is it just this real easygoing, I work at a gym, so I put in 20 minutes of mediocre work 10 times a day? Because that's the other thing. Working in a gym, really you don't have to work out that hard to stay in shape. You could literally work out 6 20-minute intervals throughout the day in just a real easy fashion. You're going to stay in great shape because you're doing it 7 days a week working in a gym. But you're telling these people that they have 1 hour today to smash and crash. You know what I mean? But if you don't ever share it with them, they're not going to respect you the same. So what I'm getting at, this whole spiel, all the talking, is about learning how to be humble, learning how to relate, learning how to just put yourself at the same level as everyone around you, and realize that sharing is the key. Share your knowledge. There's an awesome saying. It's super, super simple. Each one, teach one. If you know something, if you've developed a skill, if you've learned a really tough life lesson, share it. Each one, teach one. We'll all grow together. We'll all be better. And if everybody does it, you'd be surprised what the person that you're training can teach you. Because you might suck like I do at finances. You might suck at it, right? And you're teaching this person how to get fit, thinking that you're above them all the time, when they're literally a fiscal genius. You know what I mean? One of those people that's just I started with $9, I now have $900,000. It took me 3 months. You could learn something from that person if you were to put yourself on their level and realize that they could teach you something amazing. But if you never respect anybody, unless they're superior or on your level at what you're great at, you're missing out. Because I promise you, if there's one thing, I told a group of kids this, I do some speaking, I told a group of kids this the other day, I said, I can promise you one thing, you're going to suck at something. It was a church group, and I could see the pastor starting to freak out right away, because I said suck, and he was he freaked out. But I told him, I was you're going to suck at something. In your life, you're going to go out and you're going to do something and you are going to fail so miserably. And if you don't understand that everybody has that, one, you're going to get broken because you're going to think that, now I can't do anything. I can't try again. That's just something I suck at. Number 2, you're not going to realize that every single person has those things in their life. As far as the gym goes and how that translates, I know ninjas that can stay hanging on this stuff all day long, right? They are amazing. By far superior to me in grip strength and in just their overall endurance, right? I know those same ninjas that can't get through a balance course. I know ninjas that are awesome on balance. People that just are freaks on balance. Can't hang for a day. You know what I mean? Can't hang with anybody on any upper body. But there's a science behind both of them, and you can share it. If each one teach one, they'd both be better ninjas. And then you got those people that are just great at everything, right? They're just really, really good at everything. So they win 90% of the time or 80% of the time, or they're super consistent, and yet they don't really share. You know what I mean? Like, the thought of not sharing in ninja is so just ass backwards to what ninja is. In this gym, and maybe in your gym, I don't know, I want you to be, if you're coming here and not wanting to share, you're in the wrong place. If you're coming here and all you want to do is win, 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 that's all that's on your mind, don't get me wrong, cool, you're going to be a great athlete, but this isn't your place. This gym is about experience. This gym, and what I think ninja is in general, gyms should be about an experience where everybody grows together. We all have one finish line that we all cross together. Some people are going to get there faster. That doesn't mean that you don't cross it with them still. It just means that you're a little bit ahead of the game. But you should still share, man. You should still help people learn, help them grow, help them be better. You're not going to lose anything. If you're scared about losing anything, you're already weak. That's the issue. If you're great at anything in life, your greatness is determined by how you can teach someone to replace you. Because if you can teach someone to replace you, you can move up, unless you're scared. And then you won't teach anybody to replace you because you're scared that they're going to be above you. But really, if you can continue to teach to replace and grow, you keep moving up when you're replaced. But you have to be humble. You have to be secure. Some of the people that I know that won't share, some of the people that I know that are the best, the most insecure people I've met. 100%. Because if your fear is that if I teach you, you're going to beat me, you're already beat. It's just a matter of time. It's just going to take a minute. So remember that. Kind of embrace that if you can. Try to really think about the fact that this world, especially ninja, is about learning to help everyone around you grow while growing yourself. That's the best way to do it. I hope you guys will stop in sometime at Train Yard 317. We're super excited about the way we're growing and the things that we're doing. I really appreciate you coming in and listening to me today talk. I know it's a bunch of rambling, basically. It's just like ramblings of a gnome, but man, I enjoy talking to you guys, and I enjoy everybody that always gives me shout outs and everything, and I do appreciate it. I want you to know that I appreciate the love that I get more than you'll ever know. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the gym, to my family. And I'm really hoping that we can continue this and continue to grow and just be this movement where we teach everybody how to survive better together. So one more day with the Dark Gnome. I hope you had a good one, man. I'll see you soon.